Hello everybody, welcome to this very unusual Source Gaming discussion, as I believe this is our first official face reveal on the channel.
Yes, on the YouTube channel for Source Gaming.
So, for those who don't recognise by our voices, it is I, your host NantenJex, and joining me today is my fellow European, the graphics lead, Nirbion.
Hey, how's it going?
So this is a special sort of discussion because it's been Gamescom the last week, and we've been there all 3 business days and had the opportunity to play lots and lots of different games. And so we're going to cover it all through this discussion video in our hotel room. So if you hear background noises or anything like that, it's from people in the hotel or people driving outside.
And doing construction work a little bit.
Yeah, so there's nothing we can really do about that, unfortunately, but we're going to do our best. But this, because we played so many games, it's going to be quite a long discussion. So we're splitting it into at least 4 videos. So this will be the first video, which you'll already know by the title. It's going to be all around Nintendo and what they were showing off at their booths. Then the next one will be all about Bandai Namco, because they had quite a lot to show.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can fit it in with all the other major third parties, which will be the next video. And then lastly will be all the indie stuff. So, and that includes some of the indie stuff that was shown off in the indie highlights. We're going to keep them separate. So without further ado, this is the Nintendo discussion. And of course, the biggest game that Nintendo had this year was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, for those who have been listening to our discussions previously will know that I've already had the chance to play this and gave some thoughts on it there. And this was the same demo that they had at both E3 and the Nintendo UK Versus event. However, this was Nirbion's first time playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So why don't you start off by giving us your general opinions on the game?
Well, at first I was really surprised at the speed of the game. Like, I was used to Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS. And it feels a lot different. Like, you don't expect to feel so different. I first tried out Ridley because that's the obvious one to first try it out, and he felt really big. Like, Sakurai captured so well the characteristic of Ridley and how he could translate in the battlefield. I died a lot, I must say. I must also add that I'm not a really good Smash Bros. Player, but I had a lot of fun with Smash Bros. And
you got quite a few good kills in there. You managed to take us all down with Bowser.
That's true, yes. But it was a very wide match. Like, everyone, I had no idea what's going on, and it was a really wild match.
Yeah, I mean, we got to play a good few hours of Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Didn't we? Like, at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that was pretty decent experience.
We probably got more out of Smash than any other visitors.
Yeah, definitely at least more than any other game that we got to experience over this 3 days. And we even played against some other journalists, and we're probably on some German YouTube news channel for that guy that we were playing towards the end, and they were filming around him.
I think it was more a French YouTube channel.
Was it French? I thought it was German.
No. I couldn't understand a single word.
Oh, okay. Then I guess it was French. I couldn't understand what they were saying anyway, and I was too concentrated on trying to win all the matches.
In the end, I won a lot of them.
Yes, well, that's neither here nor there. But no, having tried a lot of the returning characters again and some of the new characters, I'm like more firm in my opinion that I'm not good as Ridley. And I don't like using him. But Inklings I'm fairly decent at. And I won most of the matches I used Inklings in. I don't think I won a single match as Ridley though.
Yeah, I mean, he's fun to use the first time. But I tried out, of course, Kirby, because of course he's my main in Smash Bros. And I was very worried about his dash attack, because it was now the melee fireball. And that was just off in Super Smash Bros. Melee. So I was really worried that they brought it back. But it worked so much better. It had more knockback, it has more fire in it, and it's way more useful than it was in Melee. So I'm very glad about Kirby in Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah. Well, Donkey Kong was really surprisingly good, wasn't it? Like, we both played as Donkey Kong and won a few matches with him both times, which was really surprising.
Yes, with Donkey Kong you could make a lot of kills. And his up B, his special B, you could get more, you have a better recovery with Donkey Kong now. Or at least I felt I had more options to get back on the stage with Donkey Kong.
Yeah, I think from all the characters we've got to try out, I still think Donkey Kong's a lot better. Zelda is she's better than she is in Smash 4, but I still don't think she's great. I managed to get at least one win when it was me versus you with Zelda, but then every other time I tried I failed miserably. Ganondorf is significantly better in this game. Samus is still not very good.
No.
Which is a really big shame because I really want to play as Dark Samus, and considering how Echoes function with the same attack, speed, weight and stuff, I don't think Dark Samus is going to be very good either.
Yeah, I don't think so too.
Which really sucks because I want to use Marth and Pit were about the same from what I tried out. I don't think I played as Villager this time. Pokemon Train is still really good. Ice Climbers and Snake are very good. Who else did I use that was significantly different? I don't think Bayonetta or Cloud or Ryu or Mega Man or Pac-Man are.
But I think Link is a good upgrade from his previous entries in Smash Bros. Especially now you can detonate his bombs with a push, and it was. I think I got more control with Link in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate than in previous titles, where he felt very heavy and not so flexible as I wanted to be in. With Link Breath of the Wild, I think it's much better.
Yeah, no, but I do like some of the changes they made to Link, but I kept forgetting I no longer have the hook shot, I no longer have the tornado boomerang. So
yeah, that's true.
And I have to detonate the bombs, so the changes are pretty different there, but if you want the classic Link style, you've always got Young Link.
Exactly.
So that's always the option. And I'm still really impressed with all the upgraded 3DS stages. Like Spirit Train is still really nice. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh, man, I love this new stage.
So beautiful. And what one? Or Prism Tower from the Pokemon X and Y.
That's also very nice. I really like the 3DS stages. Definitely are the ones that have the most benefit with an upgrade.
I think Congo Falls.
No, the main stages
biggest
also
upgrade. And of course, yeah, maybe they look already very beautiful, but I think they also got a major upgrade. I think it's comparable, like equally comparable, the 3DS stages to Ultimate and the Melee stages in Ultimate.
So they've both got like really nice touches up, whereas the Smash for Wii U stages and Brawl stages, they have got upgrades and they do look a lot nicer here, but the jump isn't nearly as big as it is for those two.
Yes.
So I'm going to keep sticking to trying to use all the 3DS and Melee stages, and I can't wait for the final game, or at least the next build, where hopefully they'll have more stages for us available to use. That'll be nice. But I don't have any other thoughts on Smash. I've already given a lot. So do you have any final thoughts before we move on to the next game?
Not really, except that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the hype is real. Like, really real. Yeah. You can really look forward to it.
Yes, it's going to be a really good one. So the next game I actually didn't play, but I did play at Nintendo UK Versus, which is why I skipped it here. But it's Pokemon Let's Go. And you got to try out Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
Yes, I got to try out the Let's Go Eevee version.
So why don't you give your thoughts on that, and I'll just sit here and be quiet.
Yes, so at least I got to try out the Viridian Forest, a very well-known place in Pokemon Red and Blue, where you can catch Pikachu, which I did at the first time. Like, that was the first Pokemon I tried to catch. And I got to try the new Pokeball controller. I was handed it out. It really felt at first comfortable. Was really nice. Catching the Pokemon with the movement also felt responsible. I was a little bit too enthusiastic because I threw it way too, at least not at the Pokemon. Yes, and
way too far.
Yes, exactly, and yeah, I had to get used to the new catching mechanic, but it was a quite nice change. However, that's a big thing for me personally. That's the only way to catch Pokemon, and I also asked if you can control it when you're in portable mode, how you can catch the Pokemon. And I was told you have to move the whole system, the whole handheld system, and that was not really an optimal solution for me, and that was really turned off.
Yeah, it does seem like a bit of an oversight. Like I was saying to you after we talked about this, after you tried it, that it'd been a nice option to have you so you could flick the analog stick or something to simulate throwing the ball, but rather than doing the whole
or maybe even incorporate the Pokemon Go catching mechanic,
doing it on the touchscreen or something. That would have been a really good idea, actually.
Yes, and it would be still true to the Pokemon Go experience in a mainline Pokemon game. But now you have to move the whole system, and I don't think I want to do that on a train.
I think I could see that being a major complaint when the reviews finally come out for this. I wonder if it's something they could update in a patch, or probably not. They'll probably wait till the next Let's Go game and then
I hope so.
do that. But alright, any other thoughts on Pokemon Let's Go?
But visually, I see a lot of complaints like, how can this be called a new HD Pokemon game? It looks too simple. I honestly dig the visual style. It looks really clean, and on 180p, it looks really outstanding, and I'm not really offended by that 3DS stylish game because it fits the nature of this game. It also has still the first generation region, and a lot of stuff there is simpler. And the upgrades they integrated, I think are faithful to the original, but still bringing a visual upgrade to it, and I think it's a nice looking game.
Yeah,
a really nice looking game. And I also talked with someone else who wasn't also so keen about Pokemon Let's Go before, and when he tried it out, he also said that visually he was more impressed than he thought. He really also changed his mind about the visual style of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu.
Yeah, I had that same impression when I went and played the game a month or so ago. It does look very nice in HD in 1080p. My only real issue with Pokemon Let's Go was that it's too easy. It was really easy.
And if you consider how Pokemon as a series is already designed for children, I think it's a little bit too much.
Yeah, it might be too far dumbed down for people. We'll have to see closer to release date. I don't think that's something that's going to be changed. It's going to be a issue of whether the later game boosts up the difficulty or not.
I think they should have at least offer an option of casual play and advanced play, or veteran play. This is something they should have incorporated. For example, when I enter a new gym, I don't want to be asked if I have the right types or get gateway. Gatekeep.
I think that a hard mode in Pokemon games is something people have been asking for a while. And they only did it in one game, and you had to unlock it after being in the game, which was
I don't really want a hard mode, but not a mode that pretty much dumps down on my own intelligence, But yeah, we have to see. Maybe there is a surprise. Maybe they can tell us more about more difficulties, which will probably not the case.
It probably won't be, but we'll find out, I suppose. So the next game was the last one that Nintendo themselves are publishing that was on the show floor. They had Splatoon 2 and Mario Tennis Aces, but we didn't bother playing them.
No, we already owned them. We owned them.
Yeah, exactly. So the next one, which was the first time a demo of this had been revealed and made playable to the public, was Super Mario Party. And this is the next installment in the Mario Party series, the first one for Switch. And in the demo, they had something called the Mario-Athlon, which was this 5 mini-game experience where you, against 3 other people, or one other person, 2 computers, play through 5 set mini-games as part of the Toad Cup, is what we had. There was other cups like the Toadette Cup and the Kamek Cup, but we could only play the Toad Cup in the demo. So it's just the same 5 mini games. But we were told that in the final game there are over 80 mini games.
Yes.
And that they'll change it up and stuff like that for the marathon. I don't know if you get to pick which 5 they are, if it's random. The fact that there are different cups, to me, implies that they're set cups, but we'll see when the final game comes out. But yeah, I really like Super Mario Party.
Same to me.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a big Mario Party guy, even previous titles, I always lost there, and I always lost my temper. So trying out Super Mario Party in this iteration, what I first liked is about the new introduction videos, or not in videos, but before you start a minigame, of course, you get explain the rules, how it works. And in previous titles, you have the option to make a practice and then go back to the rules. In this game, when the rules are explained, there's a little window and you can already practice.
Yeah. So,
which is a really good, nice change.
That's a really good quality of life change, because a lot of the time you sit there, people are reading the instructions, some people are just waiting, but now you can actually, where the little visual is showing you how you control it, whether it be buttons or tilting, doing so makes the screen move. You basically start the minigame straight away, it just doesn't count, lets you practice, which is a really nice alternative than press button, go to practice.
Yeah.
Wait, press the button to leave practice and
it
stuff
made
like that.
play sessions so much longer, and this is a really good change.
This is
that speeds up a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So the 5 minigames we played, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. There was one where you had to dodge
bullet bills?
No, bullet bills, charging sharks.
Yes.
You had to dodge them. There was one where you had to run away from the boomer enemies, which are the ghosts with the boxing gloves that do that. Then you have to do one which I was really good at, and you were really bad at. And you use the Joy-Con to replicate flipping a frying pan to make this cube of meat jump over, and you have to cook all the sides of it, which doesn't make sense when you're a Goomba. You go over to it as a Goomba, and then you just see Mario's glove holding the thing appears. I like to think that Luigi is over there just helping the Goomba out. Cooking.
Yes. I mean, Luigi is a good.
You just have to do little flicks, and I managed to do it in 10 seconds, whereas you took 17.
Yes, I need a lot of time, and I was sometimes a little bit too strong, flipped a little bit too hard, and got it on the wrong side. So yeah, I really was bad at this mini game.
I think what makes Mario-Thalon really interesting, and I don't think it's going to be like this for every minigame, is that there is no timer for when the minigame ends. It just ends when everyone's done. So for the Boomer one, the first time we did it, the 3 people got knocked out and I was the only one left, and I could have just kept running for as long as possible. I decided not to. The second time we played it, you survived and you kept going, and you just kept going. And you survived a good 20 seconds after everyone else was gone, and then you eventually got knocked out. But depending on in the Mario-Thalon how successful you are at the minigame, you get a set amount of points. So because you won by quite a large margin in time, you've just got I remember you were last and then you shot up to 2nd place because of how well you did in that one minigame.
Yes.
And so I think that's a really interesting way to do Mario-Thalon. It's not about winning, it's about winning well.
Yeah.
It's not about losing, you don't want to lose poorly, because otherwise you won't get anywhere. And it was good. I actually thought it was really enjoyable, and all the sort of motion controls or just playing with the buttons and all that, it felt like Mario Party. That was the other one, the tricycle one, where you had to do this. I didn't understand at all. I was not good at that one.
I think I kind of understood. I put it on my 2 fingertips and just make it very fast and very present.
I couldn't do it.
I mean, I try, but with motion controls, I'm a lazy one. I will try to cheat the controls as much as possible.
So we didn't get to try any board games, just those 5 mini games. But we got to pick any of the characters who want unlockable. So the unlockable characters are Dry Bones, Pom Pom, Donkey Kong, and Diddy Kong. But all the other characters are available from the start, at least in the demo. And I like that they're split between good guys at the top and villains at the bottom. And there are some really random choices now, like Goomba and Monty Mole. These are the Chain Chomps.
Yeah, but I also feel like Bowser's equally rated. With the bicycle mini games, it looked ridiculous how fast Bowser moved with his feet and on this mic. It has a big clown on it, the bicycle effect.
It's nice to see Bowser is playable in this one, and Bowser Jr., I think, right?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember. It just makes me wonder who's going to take the Bowser spot over if Bowser's playable. Maybe it's Dry Bowser. Or maybe it's just Toad still. But now he's being mean.
Yeah.
Or it could be Kamek, actually.
Or it doesn't have to be a villain. They are just enjoying a good party.
I think it's Kamek. Because I just realised, because Toad and Toadette aren't playable. I don't think. But because Toadette gives you the stars, and Toad is the host, and the cups are the Toad and Toadette cup, and then there's the Kamek cup. So I wonder if Kamek is that new Bowser spot. It would make more sense if it was him than doing magic and stuff.
Or maybe they surprise us and it's going to be Giga Bowser.
Giga Bowser. Get that Smash crossover in there. But yeah, I don't have any other thoughts on Super Mario Party. This actually is really fun. I know there's been a lot of stuff about how you have to use the Joy-Con, you can't use the Pro Controller. And that does make sense because there are just mini-games which require one Joy-Con to flip or stuff like that. Or to do this with the Joy-Con, it would be just really undoable on the Pro Controller. I think some mini-games wouldn't be possible.
I think it's really designed with the Joy-Cons in mind.
Yeah, and considering everyone has a Joy-Con because they just come with the Switch.
Yes.
It's not like you can't play the game still, you're just going to have to use the Joy-Con.
I mean, there's even bundle option.
Yeah.
Whereas for Mario Party,
yeah.
Super Mario Party has also 2 Joy-Cons included. So.
Yeah. Although it comes out like a month after Super Mario Party actually launches.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it is. Anyway, those were the 3 games that Nintendo are publishing at the booth, but they had a few more. So we're just going to go down the order that we've written them down here. And the first one was one that you played, but I didn't, because I played it in Nintendo UK before.
Yeah,
but Dark Souls Remastered.
A little bit briefly. But
Yeah.
I played it and... Yeah, that's Dark Souls. To be fair, I never really touched any Dark Souls game. And when I was booted up, I was in some random castle. Controls fit nice. It moved as I expected. But I can't really comment on how much it upgraded to previous titles. And or how buggy it is in this previous entry. But I think, or I didn't saw anything weird in this port. And I think it's going to be a solid port.
Yeah.
From what I played.
From what I played as well. I think it's back in Nintendo UK. It all ran perfectly well and stuff. So if you are a Nintendo only guy and you've always wanted to try out Dark Souls, this is the time to do it.
Unless Bandai Namco suddenly announces a Dark Souls trilogy for the Switch, but
Well, that would be impressive because they need to port both Dark Souls 2 and 3 to the Switch.
It would be crazy impressive, yes.
But yeah, so alright, that's Dark Souls. And I guess the next one is another game that's already out on other systems. And that's Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah.
Which we both played one game on. And
that sure is Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yeah, that's Dragon Ball FighterZ, alright. I was trying to think whether it had slowdown or not.
No, it doesn't have.
I don't think it does, but I think visually it is a drop from
yes,
the
if
PS4
you
and Xbox
look
One
carefully at the audience in the background, like they
Yeah,
are
the
2D
audience is very-
sprites, right? And
I think they are in the original, but they're more pixely here.
Yeah,
they look
way
much
more
more
pixely,
flat than
definitely.
the original. But even there, just the character models and stuff, I noticed it straight away. And I was like, there's no way it's the frame rate, surely, so it must be the quality of the models that's a big drop here.
from the fighters?
The fighters themselves, they didn't look to me at least, they didn't look nearly as nice as they did.
I'm not
PS4
sure.
version.
I have the game on PC, played on the story campaign. I played it a few hours, it doesn't sound like, but I really didn't notice anything majorly bad or in downgrade. Also, I think it's pretty faithful to the original releases.
Yeah, I think I think it's perfectly fine for competitive play if you haven't got the original already.
It's on the go.
And it's on
if
the
you
go,
want to
that's
try
true.
out or train a new character, you can do it on the plane.
Yes, that's very true. It's very true. And Yamcha is still really good.
Yeah,
Like
he beat me with Yamcha.
Yeah,
so
took out his entire team with just Yamcha. OP. Anyway, so that's just that. So the next 2 games we have are games that aren't out yet. And you played one of them back at Bit Summit, but these are both new for me.
Yes.
So the first one that was new for... Let's try with the Bit Summit one first, because you've already done that, is Travis Strikes Back.
Yes.
So this was my first chance playing Travis Strikes Back. And, well, apart from the demo was very glitchy at the beginning. Like, we were trying to set up co-op mode, weren't we?
Yes.
And it just wouldn't do it. And then the guy had to come along and fiddle around with it for a few minutes before co-op mode would actually start up.
Yes, and at Bit Summit, co-op wasn't even an option.
Mm.
So it's the first time we could play it in a 2-player mode.
Yeah, so it seems to be a bit buggy at points like that, but I don't know, to be honest. I really like No More Heroes. I really like the first 2. And this one's obviously not like them. It's a looking down, arcadey style fighting game. And all the dialogue was in German, so I couldn't even get like the jokes and stuff like that personally. So the humour wasn't really there for me. And without that, it didn't feel very
Oh my.
Interesting. I mean, I just ran around tapping the slash button, and Travis runs around doing this, and just took out basically every enemy like that. Then I realised that it would be more fun to use the heavy attack, even if it put me up to more risks, at least I'm sending enemies flying. Eventually I clocked that by using the triggers and stuff I could activate like this kind of cool little dash and little aerial effects. I had no idea what decided what, but I figured out I could use them, and that made combat slightly more interesting. But the very fact that I didn't even need to use them, I was just doing perfectly fine running around swinging my remote like a madman. It says a lot about the game to me, personally.
But you have to also keep in mind that's not going to be the whole game.
Yeah.
It's one of several games, and it more works with video game tropes. And of course, if you don't read anything, like you couldn't understand any jokes, and even though I tried to translate them, we just skipped a lot of the dialogues, and it does feel very bare bones if you just concentrate on this game alone.
Yeah.
But I still think, like in corroboration game, I think it doesn't favor for being so simple. And I really like also the style, how stylized it is.
Yeah.
80s neon lights.
Yeah, no, the style was quite cool. And when the level started up and it was in the lo-fi,
yes,
that was a really nice effect. Visually, I thought it was fine. And the boss fight was really fun, actually.
yes.
There was 2 phases of the boss fight, and they hinted at a third one that's not available yet, but might be at PAX West. Or not sure.
No, yeah, they said the demo will continue at PAX West.
Yeah.
And that demo, like, I think it's very interesting. Like for the Gamescom demo, they included even some German jokes, like not getting that. Yeah, Travis commenting at how you can get drunk on Kölsch, a German beer. So, yeah, and there was also a Russian event where they also commented on the event, which caught the surprise of many attendees. So it's really interesting, actually, this aspect of the demo of Travis Showcase.
Yeah, Grasshopper's put in a lot of neat little touches.
Yes.
Which is nice to see.
It makes me also very hopeful about the localization.
Yeah, no. Well, I'm just hoping we get a bit more information. There's obviously that Nindies Direct that comes out.
Yes.
Next month? No, not next month. What am I saying?
Next week.
Next week, yeah, sorry. But that's obviously before PAX West, so I wonder whether or not we'll get another Travis trailer and maybe see another one of the games from it. Because if they are all different, then that's fine, but they've only ever shown this one at every single event. And the demo's been out for like a year now, and it's always been the same level. And the only difference is that originally it was just one phase of the boss, and at some point they added the second phase.
Which makes me feel like they're not that ready with development.
But we'll have to see. So the last game that we had to play at the Nintendo booth was SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, an upcoming fighter game by NIS America. That's I think the SNK Heroine series is a series that's been around for a while.
It is?
I think it has. It's just it hasn't been like very frequent. But like even back before SNK started being a part of NIS America, it was just an SNK fighting game, but only the female characters from all of it. So I'm pretty sure that's a thing, because I remember when it first got announced, a lot of people were like, oh my god, it's another SNK Heroines game. But anyway, it uses 3D models, it's very fan servicey. We went to the NIS America conference, and they gave us like a look at all their upcoming games, and SNK Heroines was one of them. And it was described very specifically as a party fighting game.
Yes.
They don't intend for this to be a competitive fighter. It's meant to be more just for fun. And I can get that feeling from it, considering there are items, you have weird, like, pastry punching thing, like you hit people and sweets fall out. And it's very, very simple.
Very simple indeed, but also very rough. Like, with performance, like, any fighting game, if party game or not, still needs a really good performance that makes actions feel responsive. And with SNK Heroines running at 30 FPS, I was like, ugh, okay, this will be a little bit rough, and he beat me several times, or I beat you?
I beat you the first time, and you beat me every other time.
Oh, okay.
I only ever beat you when I used Yuri, because she's like the only character I'm actually good at. in all of SNK's games.
And I'm not sure if I had fun or was displeased, because I didn't feel like I have full control of the characters. I felt like I got an item or punched someone and suddenly I could perform a special attack.
Yeah, I had no idea how the special attacks
Yes.
worked into anything. I just started spamming buttons to see.
I think one button
what it does.
activated a special attack, which was a little bit.
Yeah, and I think my big issue is you have all these bars at the top, and I had no idea which one was my health at all. Like, I think it's actually the small bar.
Really?
So yeah,
I thought it was the super meter.
No, I don't think it is. I think there's like a big, fancy pink glowing bar. Then next to it's a little green bar that turns red when you're low on health, and then below that is another bar that's something to do with your ally. And I had no idea what any of that meant. I was like, because it comes up saying like finish him, kind of Mortal Kombat style when they're low on health and they're dizzy. But I was like, why am I getting a finish him? I've got loads of health. Well, actually, I think I had loads of power meter, not much health, and it just wasn't clear at all. There were some very strange design decisions in that game. And these aren't things that are going to be fixed, because I'm pretty sure the game comes out in like 2 weeks. 2-3 weeks.
And what's also interesting about the demo is, or about SNK Heroines in general, is Miss America explicitly said in our keynote or in the press conference that they are not allowed to showcase the demo, but Nintendo was able to show it. And they only had the alternate costumes available, not the fan service.
Yeah,
like
I really wanted to ask them, are the fan service costumes going to be available worldwide? Because Nintendo Europe and Nintendo America have only ever shown the original default costumes.
Yes.
Like for the original characters costumes, whereas in the Japan trailer it's always been the fan service one. And we noticed at the character select screen that the fan service one is like the default costume for every character.
I mean, you can see it at their red faces, like at their red embarrassed faces.
So with the exception of one character whose default costume I think is the fan service one, because I guess she must have really revealing clothes. All the others we were forced to only ever use costume 2 and could change the colour on it.
Yes.
Which I thought did amuse me about that for silly reasons, obviously.
I mean, it had probably something to do with age rating on Colonia booth.
Yeah, possibly.
And Nintendo wanted to be a family entertainment booth, so they couldn't show off very well
the very loose costumes, yeah. So that's it for all of the major ones. We played a few other indie titles at the Nintendo booth, but we're going to save that for the indie discussion in a bit. So, yeah, any closing thoughts on Nintendo's overall presence at E3?
Well, I can at least say that Nintendo's presence at Gamescom was especially popular among visitors. Like, when there were even lines outside the outside area, and I think it was a good selection of games they offered. Of course, not a lot of new games, except maybe Super Mario Party, which was nice to try out. But overall, I was quite pleased with what Nintendo showed off.
Yeah, same. I thought they had a really nice booth with all the posters, and they had all these cool little fan-made Labo things, which I think were
Oh, I totally forgot about
They
it.
had a big cardboard Luigi motorbike, and the Animal Crossing one, and the Splatoon rollers made out of cardboard and stuff. That was really cute.
Yeah.
And they also had in their own booth the new Amiibo, which you can see Twitter's on this Source Gaming Twitter account. Both the 3 new Smash Brothers Amiibo and the 3 new Octolink Amiibo.
Splatoon 2.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for Nintendo at Gamescom. I want to thank Nintendo actually for letting us use their booth and have like exclusive looks at some of the games and stuff like that. Not exclusive.
Yeah. So thank you, Nintendo.
So thank you for that. And yeah, everyone else listening to this, let us know what your thoughts were. If you were at Gamescom, give us your thoughts on the games you got to try out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people in the comments saying face reveal, yeah, below. Congratulations, you've got 3 more of these videos coming. 3 more. So, yep, we're going to just jump straight into that other one in a second as a separate video. But before then, thanks to all of our awesome patrons out there, in particular the super patron, the Duke of Dorks. Him and all the other patrons are going to be on this side of the screen, which is my left. I know it's your right, you don't have to keep telling me that every time I say it wrong. So, right, Thank you everyone, and always remember to return to the source.
Bye bye!